Okay, these are seated straddle lift-offs. The elevated surface that we're going to work from makes them just a little bit tougher than the straddle lifts that we do from the ground. Okay, so our position, we're going to be seated on the ground. Okay, the non-working leg you can have in front of you in whatever position is comfortable for you. Okay, now the working leg we're going to have out into a straddle position, but I'm not going to put it like so far that I'm really working hard to abduct. So we want to abduct a little bit, so it's kind of like at more than 45 degrees for me, but not at our end range. Okay, then when I'm seated up here, I want to have a position so my hands are going to come in front of me here on the inside, to the inside of the working leg. Okay, and what we want to resist, just like our regular straddle lifts, we want to resist leaning back. Okay, we're going to work really hard on the shortening side of the joint here, working those hip flexors and quads really hard. Okay, so our elevated surface here, your height is going to depend on what you're able to access. Okay, so I don't want you, so when we lift, if you're lifting up super high, then you really have to increase the height. Okay, I want you to be working hard that you just lift off of your surface. So I'll just show you how we're going to approach this. So I put my hands down in front, so this is also going to keep me nice and strict and resist leaning back. Put my hands down in front, and then before I lift, I'm going to contract my quads and my hip flexors really hard in preparation for the lift. So I put my hands down, contract the hip flexors and quads, lift up for the prescribed amount of time, and then come down. Okay, so if I'm able to lift super high off my elevated surface, then what we do is increase the height so that I'm working a little bit harder in the position. Always try to work harder. Okay, so again, I'll just show you here. I put my hand down. I'm going to contract. Okay, so if you flex or point the foot, it doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you. I tend to point the foot. It gets lots of engagement, so that's what I tend to do, but you can decide. Okay, so I'm putting my hands down, contracting the quads and hip flexors really nicely, and lift up as much as I can, and hold for the prescribed amount of time before we move over to the other side.